With the government's suspension of benefits leaving people to feel the financial strain, cities have found ways to begin to help their residents. Here's Jordan Tovar with what these cities are doing.
On Tuesday, the city of Hutchinson announced that it would not turn off water services during the government shutdown.
The decision to suspend the utility billing shutoffs is really the city's effort to look after the community in a manner in which we can.
The city says anyone running into financial problems should reach out to the utility billing office to discuss payment arrangements and any assistance options. Along with helping residents, they say part of the decision was just looking ahead.
If there's no aid available, you would anticipate that those shutoffs would probably increase. And so as a way to get out in front of that, that's what we're trying to do here.
Other cities have also started to follow this, with Emporia also suspending utility shutoffs while SNAP benefits go unfunded. In Hutchinson, Jordan Tovar, 12 News.